All right, so today we are speaking to Fernando. He is Venezuelan living in Colombia. Now, he's been trying to start agencies for a few years now with no luck. And he recently started his new agency, which is an AI automation agency. Once again, same old story, no luck, no guidance, no mentorship. So he joined Digital Launchpad. He went through the sales training program as well as a bunch of the coaching calls and actually managed to sign his first client for $3,000 a month. And since then, he signed $22,000 in deals. So within 6 weeks, he's already made $22,000 from Digital Launchpad, and then he took some of that money and reinvested that back into Agency Accelerator. Obviously, with his initial $37 investment into Digital Launchpad, you can only imagine what would happen once he joins Agency Accelerator. So obviously, he's done incredibly well, so I'm very excited for you to hear his story.
Fernando, how are you doing?
I'm doing amazing, thanks. How about you?
I'm good. We've spoken before in the community many times, and I'm thrilled to see that you've made it to the student interview part, which means that you're obviously doing very, very well, of which I had no doubt. But for those who are listening who don't know you, Fernando, just a quick intro, how old you are, where you're from, just a little bit of a background from your side.
For sure. I'm 22 years old. I'm originally from Venezuela, but I live in Colombia. I'm learning English a couple of years ago, and I'm in the process of creating an agency in the States, even though I live in Colombia.
You said you've got an agency, right? So is that what you, how long have you been operating the agency? How has it been going prior to DL? I know obviously DL has come in and really helped your agency scale and take off. But just tell me a little bit about the agency part of it. Like, how was it doing prior? What were you struggling with, etc.?
For sure. The full story is that I started my first agency when I was 18 years old during the pandemic. It was a agency, and I did that for a couple of years. Not successful, to be honest. I just had a couple of clients, but nothing that great here in Latin America. Then I stopped for a year or something while I was learning English. Come back to Colombia, and I was looking to go back to the agency and everything. I dropped out college at that point to dedicate 100% of my agency. And when I did that, I also closed my agency because I was looking for a better solution than the one that I was offering at that point. That's where I into DL, I looked into AI, and I was just in the process of learning. So far, I have been 21 weeks with the new system and the new agency, and it is AI automations for consultants.
Yeah, two things. First of all, your English is amazing. So the 2 years you spent learning English have been well worth it. You sound perfect. So well done on that. The other thing I want to touch on, I know you said you had an agency first. You ran that for a couple of years, had a couple of clients or however long it was. I always say this to students, there's no such thing as failure, right? These are all just lessons. These are all part of the journey. If you don't have that part of it, you don't appreciate the part you've got now. You need to go through them dark moments. You've heard me say it enough on coaching calls and stuff. So, that's an amazing part of your journey. So 21 weeks ago, roughly, you started your new agency, or at least the new version of it, and DL's happened. Digital Launchpad has happened. Tell me where you heard about Digital Launchpad and what made you go into it.
For sure. I have been following Iman since a couple of years ago, before the big blow in the social media and everything. So I started to look into his programs, and at one time I remember that he launched something similar to Digital Launchpad, but it was 2,500 and he didn't have the money at that point. And I remember that he do like a first video, was like a live stream or something, about this Digital Launchpad, and I saw that one of the programs was the sales one, at least the one that I was more interested was the one of 2001. So I said, oh my gosh, and it was like 30 minutes after he launched that video that I joined Digital Launchpad right away, because I think for $37, this is a super bargain. This is a huge opportunity. I need to take it.
And these programs we talk about, like six-figure sales rep, pen to profit, the winning store. If these were to be sold individually as programs, you're looking at $1,500 each. In fact, that's how they were initially when, we first brought them to market. They were $1,500 programs individually. And now you get not just one, but you get six-figure sales rep, pen to profit, pathway to profit. You've got the winning store. We've got the perfect fit coming from Iman's tailor. I mean, I could go on and on and on. I'm not going to because I like to keep some surprise elements, as you know. But all
Watches
that
one.
for $37, you know?
It's a bargain, completely. I
Yeah.
feel also that we're gonna launch one about the watches. I'm not sure. I love watches, so I'm excited for that one too.
We will be bringing loads of stuff. I mean, see, honestly, we it's around the clock. The planning that goes into Digital Launchpad, we're all very, very excited. And we're excited because we've only been operational for a few months. And the results the students are getting, the environment, the atmosphere, the community, the wins. I mean, Fernando, you know, you're in there, right? You know what it's absolutely lit. Okay, so let's get back to, like, obviously you've come into Digital Launchpad. 6-figure sales rep was the course that was obviously suitable for you, or the one that would have benefited you the most with your agency. How did you find the actual program itself? What were the key takeaways? What did you pick up from it? Because I know you watched it 3 or 4 times, right? I know you've watched it 3 or 4 times. Yeah.
At a certain point, I watch it every day before starting my day, the full program.
Right.
It is an amazing program. When I joined was because I learned English. I know that my English is good enough. However, it's a very different skill knowing a language than knowing how to sell in a language.
100%.
I know we sell in general. And sales have been part of my family during my whole life. When I was young, my mother taught us how to sell. We wanna or go to a reunion with friends or everything. We need to sell them or sell to my mother that she let us to go to that place. So that kind of situation happened since I was very, very young. So I saw that program and I realized I think that the key constraint that I'm having on why I'm not having clients is because I don't know how to sell. I'm very, very bad selling. So that was the first program, and to be honest, that's the only one that I have watched so far, plus the community and itself. So those are the key things for all the journey that they start getting me a couple of clients. So
we've got group coaching calls as well, right? We've got Nehemiah in the community who is, you know, I often jump on his calls as well as a spectator and listen in because he's just absolutely brilliant. How have you personally found them calls? Have you been on stage? Have you exchanged any conversations with Nehemiah? Knowing you, I'm sure you have. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yes, about everything that you ask. I've been in the majority of the calls that I could possibly be from Nehemiah. Some of them I'm not actually talking or interacting because I'm in the process that I need to listen a lot, to learn a lot. But some of the times I go to Nehemiah and tell, hey, this is the process I'm doing, this is the discovery process I'm doing. I can give him the feedback, completely personalize it for my case. So he's amazing. He's amazing. Thanks to him, I fixed also a lot of things that I thought that I knew. But when I go to the call, he said me, well, Fernando, you need to definitely work on those in these areas.
That's one thing I'm so proud of. And, you know, the coaching and the community, there are a lot of programs where they give you the content, but they don't then give you the support. They don't give you the coaching. They don't really give you the community. And it's just as important, if not more important than the content itself, to have a place where you can have that feedback loop. What am I doing wrong? We've had it with the winning store. The amount of people who have gone onto the, you know, coaching calls with Daniel, had their store optimized, has their store analyzed. The amount of people who have gone to Kieran for the email coaching and had their copy tweaked. The amount of people who've gone to Nehemiah. I mean, he's even putting out opportunities for closing roles now. So I mean, it's just like, what more do you really want? It's just absolutely staggering. And I'm glad you're really taking benefit from the coaching. You've also had a lot of support from the team as well, right? So I want to do a shout out to the Digital Launchpad team. They all know who they are. They work around the clock. Tell me about your experience with the actual community and the DL team itself.
I talk a lot and I ask a lot of questions, to be honest.
Good.
Yeah, thank you. I DM a lot to the different people into the space, and one that has been super helpful. I feel ashamed because I bother her a lot. Is Malek. Malek helped me every time that I have a question. I just text him a message. She always answers super fast, and if I something, she figured out a way to actually provide maybe an advice or maybe connect you with the person. But it's been amazing.
Yeah. Malek is just an absolute shining star within Digital Launchpad and Agency Accelerator as well, which we'll talk about in a short while because the little birdie tells me you've joined Agency Accelerator as well. So I do want to go into that a little bit.
Perfect.
But yeah, Malek is amazing. The level of support she provides, the whole team to be fair, but Malek is very, very being the community
Yeah.
manager. You know what it is with this, with the team we've got, we all really feel connected to the students. We feel as
Yeah.
if you've been on the calls, so you've been on some of the calls I've been on as well. We're not going through the motions, as we call it. We're not just jumping on calls for the sake of jumping on calls. We're jumping on to build that connection, that human connection, so we can understand, okay, what's stopping you? Where's the problem? You've got the education, you've had the coaching. What's that psychological block? Do you need support? Do you need mentorship? Do you just need a kind word? Do you need some tough love? This is why we really, really try and get to know everybody. And you're one of the people, like I said, you said yourself, you ask a lot of questions. People get to know you. Okay, Fernando is always asking questions. He's very passionate, very driven. Let's see how we can help him. And again, this is the best example. Benefited from the course itself, the program itself, took advantage of the coaching calls, took advantage of the community, took advantage of the DL team in the most positive way, right? And nothing works unless you do. Right, I know it sounds very cliched, but it's a fact, right? And it's no surprise that the people who are coming on student interviews are the people who really dial in, want to join the Digital Launchpad. This is why the results are coming in weeks. You know, in weeks people are getting results. And talking of results, let's talk about yours, because that's what we're here for, right? As well as your journey. So tell me, after Digital Launchpad, after the 6-figure sales rep, after the coaching calls, after all the support, how did that translate in sales? Tell me, give me a bit of a breakdown of your agency. You obviously, AI automations is what your niche is. Tell me how the sales have been.
For sure. So something I want to clarify there is that the first month, not clarify to add, is that the first month I didn't join the community. Even though I bought it, I didn't know about the community, to be honest.
No, you were just doing the
videos, and I thought, wow, this is so amazing, before even joining the community. And once I joined the community, a week after that I started to talk with the people and give feedback and actually start implementing the advice and the things that I've learned. I closed the first client.
Wow.
That client is applying for $3,500 per month, and he's still with us, thankfully.
Amazing.
2 weeks after that, I closed another client for the same amount, so $7,000 monthly recurring revenue. I closed a one-timer of $2,600 last week, and yesterday, one timer also for $12,000. So monthly recurring revenue so far, $7,000, and the extra put us around $22,000.
How long have you been in Digital Launchpad, Fernando? Tell me. I'd love to get this bit of information.
For sure. I will say that with our content the first month, maybe a month and a couple of weeks.
So 6 weeks.
So,
6
6 weeks.
Right.
Yeah.
And you've paid what? Are you paying monthly or are you paying yearly?
Well, at the beginning, I started paying monthly because I didn't know that you can pay.
Okay. Even better. So you paid for the year.
Yeah.
That equates to, I think it's around about, I don't know, $20 odd a month or something like that. I think when you work it out, right?
Yeah.
So you invested $25, $26, $27, whatever it is, doesn't really matter. It's less than 30 for sure, right?
Yeah.
And you've made $22,000.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, they're crypto returns, bro. Like, that's absolutely crazy. You know what I mean? It makes me so happy that it's unbelievable. Like, people will probably see me on these calls smiling ear to ear. It's because I see you guys in the community. I saw you jump on that first call. I saw you jump on like the after hours call, on the coaching calls. I see you everywhere. And to then see you go from there to here is absolutely unbelievable. Listen, mate, like, congratulations. Unbelievable. That's amazing. That's game changing. And that's obviously given you probably a lot of confidence now to go to another level, right? Because, I mean, obviously you've shown yourself you can do it. But tell me how that's affected, or how has that changed your life almost? Because that obviously you can work remotely, you can travel, there's the freedom, there's the time location. Tell me about all them things. Is that anything you're benefiting from, or?
To be honest, in general, I just feel happy. I heard one time a quote that the happiness is not the goal, or you are not happy when you get to the goal. You're happy when you see progress.
Yeah.
And I'm happy because I was feeling the progress. I said that my whole life, I always wanted to be in a place where I feel the slowest one. I feel the one that a lot of people are ahead of me, and I need to go to that place where they are. and digital Launchpad and now Agency Accelerator give me that feeling, like feeling intimidated to actually talk in a call and everything. And that makes me happy at this point. So that so far it haven't had happen too much time to actually be traveling and enjoying the money and everything, and I'm putting back everything on education again.
Amazing.
Yeah, I would say that everything affects my life in a way that I just feel happy. I just feel like I want to wake up every morning. I stop watching Netflix. I stop watching YouTube. I stop watching all of that kind of things because I generally just want to work. I generally just want to keep progressing on everything I'm doing. So that's the key difference between.
There's very, very few things in this world as intoxicating as success. It's actually exhilarating, intoxicating, you name it. It just gives you that feeling that you just want to keep going. You just want to see how far you can push it. And I love that. It's a great feeling, and a feeling that a lot of our students are now having. Agency Accelerator. I want to talk about this because obviously it's no secret. Agency Accelerator is now live. Absolutely unbelievable. A lot of work's gone into that. But the reason I want to bring it up here is because hopefully some DL students are listening, and when they watch this, they'll understand that you came to DL first, you followed the programs, you followed the coaching, you made the sales, and now you're moving into Agency Accelerator. That path is there, that route is there. Not everybody at this point will be at the stage where they can just go and buy Agency Accelerator. Some people might not have the resources. It's absolutely fine. But what I think is beautiful about the ecosystem that Iman's built is that no matter what your price point, no matter what your current situation, you can get an education that's actually valuable in the real world. You can find community, you can find friends. And actually, if you follow the rules we give you, if you follow the blueprint we give you, you can actually very quickly move into Agency Accelerator and beyond. So I'm so glad you've come on and you have that arc of joining DL and going into Agency Accelerator. How is that feeling? How do you feel about that, Lex?
I want to be honest. I feel amazing because now I can afford the kind of education that I really want to have. Before joining to DL, I have an Excel with the month of life that my business have. I just have enough to pay this month and the extra month. That's it. So even paying $37 for something that I need to be careful about it, right? So I joined also a couple of clients, which is part of the process of actually being in DL. And then I looked into Iman's history about stories on Instagram, story about Agency Accelerator. And I asked a couple of questions. You said, hey, in a few weeks, it will be out. And that's why he put a special offer for Kings. I didn't know how was the process to be King. I asked him.
Just for anybody listening, anybody who is a King in Digital Launchpad, anybody who upgrades to Agency Accelerator gets whatever they've paid for Digital Launchpad for the year, discounted from the price of Agency Accelerator. How long that's going to last, I don't know, but certainly I'm glad you took advantage of it because it is a fantastic offer, right? And you get to keep DL as well. You don't lose. In essence, you get DL free for the year. So you've got DL and Agency Accelerator. Yeah, enjoying the experience of Agency Accelerator so far, what you've done?
A lot. I want to be honest, there are two things. One of them, the videos. Wow, there are a lot of videos. And with the first 4 videos, I just realized that I was doing a lot of the thing in the wrong way. I realized that I'm making this money, I'm doing it in the slowest way possible. And there is a way better way to do the results that I'm kind of getting. I think that VL definitely helps you to the 10,000, but Agency Accelerator will get you to the 100,000 type of month.
And that's what it is. And if you think about it, Fernando, what you've just said there is actually DL. We've actually said that it will help you make your first $1,000. And I've said this in every call I've been on. It'll probably help you make your first $4, $5, even $10,000. And in this case, $22,000, right? There is just no limit. It's down to you. And then obviously the next evolution, depending on what you want to do, is there as well. We've got everything covered. If somebody was to ask you now, like, Fernando, thinking about joining Digital Launchpad, what kind of feedback would you give the person? What would you tell the person? If a friend came to you and said, I want to join Digital Launchpad, what do you think?
Good. 1,000% doing it. If you don't have the money, go ask it in the streets if you need it, but definitely it's way too cheap to lose the opportunity to learn good education.
100%.
I told you that university, and here in Colombia was in the one of the top five university in the country. So very huge, one of the best in Latin America. And the type of things that I'm learning here are way more valuable than the university as itself, the full package. I drop out. I want to say that I didn't complete it. However, for just the content that you can see there, I think that I'm making more money than most of the teachers that were supposed to teach me how to actually make it. So yeah.
Yes, worked out well. Fernando, listen, I'm delighted for you. Truly, you're a great guy. I think great things will happen. Interested to see how your progression in Digital Launchpad goes, how your progression in Agency Accelerator goes. Any final words before we wrap up?
For sure. First, I just wanted to thank you because you may not remember this, but the first time that I joined the community, you were actually one of the speakers. And it was the first day I just asked a question. And I was in that dark place, everything is blurry of not having clients, trying to put the things, trying to do everything, not knowing how anything works. And I asked you, hey, what can I actually do on this point, on this stage of the business? And you just tell me it is part of the game. Enjoy it. Not knowing how to do certain things, not knowing if the client will pay, not knowing if you will actually get the results that you want to get, is part of the game. Something you need to enjoy. And I process that feeling of the answer that you give me, and I realized completely true. If it were last time that you were gonna feel pain in your life, you will enjoy it a lot, even though it's very painful, because it's last time that you were gonna feel that emotion. And I felt that in the moment, and I just wanted to thank you for that advice.
Honestly, that means so much. I really appreciate that. And it's a message I tend to give to people. I get a lot of students coming and they're almost asking so many questions, which is great, but they're almost trying to seek perfection in everything. Like they don't want to, it's almost like they're trying to build themselves up not to make any mistakes. And I try and explain mistakes happen. Enjoy them. They're character building. It's where you learn. You learn so much more from failure than you do from success. You know, people don't say that for no reason. It's a part of the game, genuinely. And, you know, if you're cognizant of that and if you understand that there's going to be ups and downs, you find that inner strength to just keep going. And yeah, I'm glad it's paid off for you. Thank you again for the kind words and thank you for joining me. It really means a lot. And I'm really excited to see your journey, both in Digital Launchpad and Agency Accelerator. And I'm sure we'll touch base soon again. Fernando, thank you very much.
Thanks to you, Ali, for everything.